After unlocking a brand new form, Raditz used this power to defeat Majin Buu, with Ruta and Goku now trying to catch up to him. Even though it seems like they may have found a new limit to their power, they can actually go far beyond this. We'll be covering all that and more in this 8th part of What If Goku Had a Twin. Not long after the Buu saga, Beerus eventually arrives on Earth. I feel like there would still be some sort of time in between, but not as long as normal. Maybe Oracle Fish tells him to wake up a bit sooner. Beerus doesn't know exactly who he's looking for, but he knows what he's looking for, a Super Saiyan God, and that of course brings him to Earth. Naturally, he ends up meeting Goku, Ruta, and Raditz. They're not the only Saiyans on this planet, but they are the 3 pure Saiyans here. Raditz actually does know a bit about Beerus, mainly anecdotal stuff from Vegeta. He never actually saw Beerus in person, but he knows that he's real. And clearly, he's standing in front of him right now. He can't imagine how strong he truly must be. The god of destruction, here in their presence, and he's looking to fight them. Raditz isn't really too sure what they're going to be capable of here. So, right off the bat, they don't know about any Super Saiyan God. Beerus, of course, wants to see what power they're capable of, so they show it, even without having the Super Saiyan God form. Together, they all transform into Super Saiyan 4. By now, Goku and Ruta have access to it, and they can actually control it pretty well. This is their current peak, and Beerus is pretty impressed. He's never seen Saiyans do something like this. Actually, he's never seen Saiyans this powerful in the first place. They're usually much weaker. He gets to see their other forms as well, but previously he only had heard of Super Saiyan because apparently that's what Vegeta got in order to defeat Frieza, and these 3 ended up defeating Vegeta. So it does make him curious. Super Saiyan 4 is very impressive, and when the 3 of them fight together, Beerus actually does have to try a little bit. Just very little though. It's enough for him to stay intrigued, but not enough to give him what he really wanted. By mortal standards, sure, they're powerful, but they're not exactly what he's looking for. He knows that he can get something greater, but Raditz has a good idea. Why not ask that dragon? Surely he should have some sort of answers about Super Saiyan God, so they gather the Dragon Balls and ask about it, learning that there's a ritual involved and it's a transformation that they could obtain. They do have enough people for the ritual, and when it's done, they choose Goku as the target for it. He becomes the very first Super Saiyan God. And even after just unlocking Super Saiyan 4, he can't believe how strong this form is. It's kind of a shame because they worked really hard to obtain Super Saiyan 4, and now they just surpass it by doing this, which also isn't really satisfying either because it's a ritual. He didn't gain this power on his own, he feels. But Beerus assures him that he'll make that power his own, and it'll feel earned. Raditz and Ruta watch on from the sidelines, of course curious about getting that power for themselves, but Goku's already thinking many steps ahead. Can he reuse Super Saiyan 4 somehow? Or at least use the principles from it, because they combined Super Saiyan with Great Ape, so what about Super Saiyan with Super Saiyan God? Or Super Saiyan 4 with Super Saiyan God? Something like that. He already has a ton of ideas, but doesn't really know what to do with them. One thing he does know for sure is that this power is great, and he's in a completely different realm of power now. He has no clue where he'll be in a few months, or even a few years from now, but he knows to expect a significant jump soon. Beerus is pleased and departs. Eventually, the 3 of them do go to Beerus' planet in order to train under him. He wants to see all of them become Super Saiyan Gods because, first of all, 3 of them training together will mean Goku grows stronger, so even if all 3 of them don't become Super Saiyan Gods, at least the one who is a Super Saiyan God will get a lot stronger. But if all 3 of them do become Super Saiyan Gods, he can see which one's the strongest, and that person will be his rival. Clearly, they motivated each other on Earth while training there, so why not use them to motivate each other here as well? Krillin's a little bit bummed because, first of all, his wife is leaving, but he's fine with it. He wants her to grow stronger, and this is what she wants, so he's not going to stop her. He's just kind of bummed that he's going to miss her for a bit. But he assures Ruta, as well as Goku and Raditz, that he's going to grow a lot stronger. He's already the strongest Earthling, and he's going to catch up to them somehow, some way. No matter what it takes, by the time they come back, he'll be a warrior that's on par with them. Whether they're gods or not, he'll get to the same level. And he looks forward to see what they'll be capable of once they go to Beerus' planet. Goten and Kasa are training a lot under Piccolo, and they work under Gohan a lot as well. But Piccolo also has the same motivation. He wants to go beyond where he is right now. He and Krillin have a similar goal, so they might as well work together, especially because they're the 2 strongest people left behind. Well, besides Gohan. Gohan is very busy now because first of all he's starting a family, and now he has his dream career. But he has that balance between work and life that he needs, thanks to having a lot of guidance from his family. Goku never dying in this scenario, plus the fact that Ruta and Raditz are around, that really did help Gohan. And he's where he needs to be right now. He, Piccolo, and Krillin start training together. Gohan doesn't join every time they train, but he joins enough to actually help. They come to learn that under the guidance of Raditz, Ruta, and of course Goku, Gohan also obtains Super Saiyan 4 for himself. He finds the form kinda strange to use given how much it changes his appearance, but it still is pretty powerful and interesting. Weirdly enough, Krillin likes the form on Ruta, although he's not going to say this in front of his nephew. But Gohan also wonders to himself, what would Videl think if she saw this? Because she hasn't seen it. Would she hate it? Would she love it? He'll find out eventually. Krillin kind of has an idea of what he must do, but he wonders what Piccolo's going to do, so he asks. Piccolo isn't entirely sure, but he does have a few ideas. He really wanted to work under the Kais and see what they were capable of. He didn't really get to know much about them during the Buu saga, and maybe he can go there. but at the same time he kind of has an idea of what he needs to do next. There's one thing that's kind of overdue by now. By this point he's definitely accepted himself and knows that he should probably merge back with Kami. The two need to combine to create the whole again. Kami agrees as well, so once Piccolo visits him, the two of them merge. But not before Kami wishes to transfer his powers to Piccolo, because when they fuse, there's going to be no Dragon Balls. Thankfully, unlike the Cell Saga and canon, they have time to do that here. The Earth isn't at risk right now, so they could actually do this. They could use the Dragon Balls for this. But also unlike the Cell Saga, they don't have instant access to Namek. They can't just teleport there at a whim and pick up Dende. They've never been there, and they can't get there. By now, Piccolo definitely knows about his origins, and same for Kami. This is mostly thanks to Raditz telling him. Point being, this is really their only option to keep the Dragon Balls, and Piccolo's fine with it. He'll become the new de facto Guardian of Earth, while also merging back with Kami like he should. But on top of that, he also does plan on going to the Supreme Kai to train. He grows a really strong rivalry with Krillin now, and the two get way closer than they were before. At some point, thanks to him being Guardian of Earth, Piccolo finds a way to get in contact with the Supreme Kai and ask if they could train under him. Shin is very welcoming of this, so Piccolo and Krillin both travel to the sacred world of Kais. Gohan stays back because he's getting busier and busier, and even though he does have that balance between work and training, he can't just up and leave. Weirdly enough, he asks how Krillin can do this, but he's taking a brief sabbatical. Casta's actually fine too. We'll be seeing more of her in a bit, but for now, this part isn't really focused on her. Expect her in the next part though. She was born in age 764, and with Battle of Gods happening a bit earlier, we're in age 776. The reason I waited so long to get a design for her is because, well, she's about to hit the growth spurt anyways, so if I had a design before, I would have had to replace it right now regardless. Although, just for reference, she can go Super Saiyan and just recently learned how to go Super Saiyan 2. Krillin is actually kind of hesitant to leave, but she actually encourages him. For the time being, she's just going to stay with Chi-Chi and Ox King. She spends a lot of time over that place anyways, and Chi-Chi is glad to look after her. Krillin doesn't plan on being gone long anyways, probably about a month. He does have to get back to work eventually. But Piccolo plans to spend as much time there as possible. They do train there for a bit and grow really powerful. Krillin gets a much better grasp on Kaioken. He doesn't have a transformation to call his own, but he has this technique which is really nice. He doesn't even know the limit of it anymore. He simply calls it Max Kaioken and just maxes out wherever he can. Because pretty much each time he uses it, he finds a new multiplier, but it only goes up a little bit each time. Last he checked, he capped out at times 50, and he's trying to get to 100 next. Although there's a pretty huge development on this planet because they train with the Z-Sword and they accidentally end up breaking it too, which releases Elder Kai. This ends up being a really good thing though because he's able to unlock their potential, and much to his surprise, the two of them have a ton of potential. He's been sealed away for so long that he doesn't really know much about Earth, at least the modern Earthlings, but Shin and Kibito could tell that Krillin is really strong by Earthling standards, and Elder Kai senses a lot of potential locked away. Same for Piccolo too. Merging with Kami really helped him, but there's a lot of strength locked away there. The two have their power awakened, and now they have their ultimate forms. Now we skip forward a few years. Resurrection F doesn't happen. First of all, there's not really anything left of Frieza's army thanks to Vegeta, and even if there were any of them left, they don't know about Earth's Dragon Balls, and they don't really have a reason to attack it regardless, besides maybe Raditz, but their grudge would be with Vegeta. Point being, there's not even an army here to revive Frieza, and not much knowledge of how to bring him back in the first place. By now on Beerus' planet, Raditz and Ruta have access to Super Saiyan God. Goku and Ruta didn't get Super Saiyan 4 until recently, and now it's already surpassed, so they really want to figure out what the next step for that is. Raditz tells them it still has its uses. First of all, Gohan's making good use of it, and maybe Casta's next to use it. He hasn't had a kid with Android 18 yet, but if they ever decide to, he's definitely going to make sure that kid gets Super Saiyan 4 right away. He wouldn't even be surprised if Goten got it eventually. Goku does think that would be really nice, of course. Especially with Gohan already having it, it's not really out of the picture. But it's not just that. Raditz asked them to remember, they thought Great Ape lost its use so long ago, but they figured out it still had a ton of use, so just like they found a purpose for Great Ape, they could probably do the same thing with Super Saiyan 4. But for now they should focus on Super Saiyan God, and the other form they just unlocked, Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan 4 inspired them because they combined Super Saiyan with Great Ape, so they tried to do that with Super Saiyan God instead, and it ended up working out. They'll train this to its limits, and once they feel like they've plateaued, maybe they could explore new options for Super Saiyan 4 or some other form beyond Blue, if there even is one. Although, Whis of course is trying to push them in another direction. Goku definitely seems like the one who's most likely to unlock Ultra Instinct for himself. Ruta too, she's a really good martial artist and she definitely has the mindset, but he's not really sure what to do with Raditz. He's of course a great warrior and still a decent martial artist, but Whis isn't sure if he has the mindset for Ultra Instinct. Maybe he should go down a somewhat different path. And Beerus takes note of this too, thinking the same exact thing. Soon enough, the Universe 6 tournament rolls around. There's a little bit of training beforehand to catch up, but the team is pretty simple. It's Goku, Raditz, Ruta, Piccolo, and Krillin. They want a Gohan on the team, but he's busy at the moment. He's still powerful and has kept up with his training, but Goku is really looking forward to see what type of power he's capable of. Looks like he needs to visit Earth more because, had he done that, he would have already experienced that by now. But it's fine, he wants to see Piccolo and Krillin's power too. Raditz is especially curious because Gohan's the first hybrid Saiyan with Super Saiyan 4 and also the most experienced hybrid Saiyan here, so he's always wondered what he's truly capable of. Same goes for Goten and Kasta, but mostly Gohan right now. The tournament begins and Krillin's up first. Time to show them what he's been up to. Pretty much immediately he powers up into Ultimate. Not much changes about him. He gets a white aura, and weirdly enough the dots on his head start to glow. But physically there's no other changes. He hits Potamo with a single punch. It stretches him out completely, sending him flying out of the ring. With one attack, Universe 6 has already lost a fighter. That is impressive. Beerus thinks it might be a fluke, but he's interested to see what this Earthling is capable of. Next he's up against Frost. Raditz freaks out a bit seeing him because he looks really similar to Frieza, but the others only know anecdotal stuff about Frieza. Once again thanks to Raditz. They have no reason to suspect anything weird of Frost, especially Krillin, who doesn't even know this guy looks like Frieza, but at the same time he has no reason to let Frost power up either. Krillin enjoys his fights, but he's a lot more tactical and focused. He'd rather just win instead of enjoying the battle. Once more, with basically a single attack, he sends Frost out of the ring. And he does this with a Ki Blast, so Frost doesn't even poison him. Frost has to keep a cool head, but he's of course really angry. That was humiliating. And he didn't get to use his trump card. Against Magetta, Krillin learns of his weakness and easily insults him. Then against Cabba, he expects him to go Super Saiyan, but he doesn't. Krillin's pretty interested to see another Saiyan, especially with him being so kind. Although, to be fair, the 3 Saiyans that Krillin knows most are really nice. He did see what Raditz was like before. But his best friend is a Saiyan, his wife is a Saiyan, and his brother-in-law is a Saiyan. He does know about their history, and it's just interesting to see how different they are in Universe 6, particularly after what happened with Vegeta and Nappa. Watching on from the stands makes Raditz wonder, what would Vegeta think seeing that? He probably would have gotten a kick out of it. Even after all this time, Vegeta is still in Raditz's mind, mostly in passing though. Krillin easily beats Cabba, and then next he's up against Hit, which really is an issue. Krillin has a strategy, but he can't do anything. The gap in power is too huge. But he figures out exactly what Hit's doing and tells the next person. That being Piccolo. They decided Piccolo would go next so they could see what he's capable of. When Krillin's back in the stands, they tell him they're really impressed. He's strong, and it's amazing what he's been capable of. But he tells them to watch closely with Piccolo. He's gained something really strange, and even though Krillin's powerful, Piccolo's on a new level in comparison. Raditz wonders if Piccolo could really handle this fight, but Krillin assures him he can. Based on sparring with them beforehand, Krillin thinks he's above their Super Saiyan 4 forms, and maybe even close to their Super Saiyan God forms, but Piccolo is even ahead of him. His ultimate form had an extra stage apparently, which he only discovered through intense training and meditation. Plus, he utilized the time chamber a lot, and was on the Sacred World of Kais for far longer. Against Hit, he starts to grow in size. His aura grows far more intense. That yellowish ultimate form he has changes into something completely new. This is what Elder Kai was telling him was locked away, and he showcases his brand new form, Orange Piccolo. The form looks awesome, but they're not really impressed with the name. Ruta's not too surprised he went with a really basic one. Krillin says he tried to come up with something cooler, but hey, at least this one's pretty straightforward. And this is what Krillin meant. He's been training with Piccolo. He's seen this form, and it's pretty insane. Raditz goes berserk and cheers. He wanted to fight, and it looks like Piccolo's going to finish this off, but it's awesome. He's really glad to see that he's grown this strong. Plus, he's also had some drinks at the concession stands, and 18 tells him to chill out. Raditz apologizes, but he's just really happy right now. This gets his blood pumping, and it gets the scar on him to start hurting again, the same place where Piccolo injured him before. Not only is Krillin stronger, but Piccolo is too, another strong warrior they could fight with. Piccolo doesn't outright overpower Hit, but when Kami transferred his powers, Piccolo grew in other ways too. Also, thanks to Kai training, he did learn to control magic way better than Kami ever did. One thing he tries out here is combining magic with his Namekian regeneration. He adapts quickly to the battle, but also could heal himself really efficiently too. It seems like he just can't be hurt. First, he multiplies himself. 2 of the clones of Piccolo start to paralyze Hit, and 2 of the others attack him. With time skip, Hit tries to fend them off, but it's a bit tough, especially while holding back, because he can't kill them. But then a 5th Piccolo jumps him. It's the main Piccolo. He didn't see this attack coming because somehow, Piccolo completely hid his presence and used the other 4 Piccolos as distractions. The stage then explodes, with Piccolo telekinetically lifting up all the pieces. He swirls them around and tries to obscure Hit's vision. Piccolo finishes the battle by growing giant and swatting Hit out of the sky. It doesn't increase his power, but it makes for a really good bluff, and it makes it easier for him to swat Hit. Hit's not really injured by any of this, but once he lands on the ground, he's not in the ring. There's nothing left of the ring to begin with, but even if there were, he wouldn't be in it. Piccolo beat him with strategy, not power. Goku really wishes he got to fight, and same for Ruta, but they're really happy with what they saw. Krillin and Piccolo have grown a lot stronger, and they're only going to grow further in the future. Who knows? Maybe even Krillin will get his own form, but that remains to be seen. We'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel and shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.